But that's Wednesday, innit? That is Wednesday. I mean, we should be sat here, 3 games to go. We've got Middlesbrough, Portsmouth and Watford. And we should be sat here thinking, you know, season done, quite happy. We set off on voyage, the rough seas, trying to avoid the storm of relegation. We've made it across, safe passage. We see land ahead, ease off the thrusters, and should be just drifting into port. Season done. Everybody can disembark, enjoy their summer and look forward to next season's trip. But no, there's always drama. We come in, we crash into dockside, absolute chaos, you know. And it's chaos off the pitch. On the pitch, like I said, we've avoided that storm. Players have, for the large part, really overperformed for the depth of the squad that we've got. And we should be going, yeah, you know, everybody's give their all here this season. We've achieved what we set out to do. And if we finish 15th, that should be seen as a building block. At a normal club, that would be a building block. We came up, we stayed up, and now we've finished mid-table. Next season, we should be looking to push on, maybe the playoffs, you know. But no one's got a clue what's happening. And I think that's what we want as fans. I think that's why we're also ratty-tempered, because the season as a whole's not been too bad. But we want clarity on what's happening off the pitch. We want to know that this league position, this finish, is going to be a building block. And we've got absolutely no idea. There's no information available. There's lots of whispers, lots of rumours. But we want more than that. I seen last night there were lots of people slagging off the players, and the performances haven't been good. Lots of people slagging the manager off, that's another thing. The reasons for these slacker performances towards the end of the season. But there's any number of reasons why that can be. One, maybe it's because we know we are safe. That, you know, we've reached the magic 50 points and things have slackened since then. But there's probably other factors. I mean, we've got 12 players out of contract this summer. We don't know if the manager's going to be here. We don't know if those players are going to be here. I mean, say for example, you're 32-year-old. Your contract's up in 2 months? You know, you've got a mortgage to pay. You might have one move left in your career. Are you really going to be chucking your Senate in 100 mile an hour into a 50-50 tackle and jeopardising probably what might be the last move of your career? No. If you're a player who is contracted to next season and maybe the season after, maybe you're on a 2 or 3 year deal. You've got a manager asking you to give 100% out there on the pitch, but you don't know if he's going to be here. Are you going to be giving it for him? Or are you going to be thinking, hang fire, pal, I'm committed to the next 2 years. Where the fuck are you going to be? What am I going to listen to you about giving everything? All these little things that we don't know. As I said, we've got 12 players out of contract going into this summer. They should be talking, if they want to keep them, and I presume there is 1 or 2 they want to keep, we should be talking about new deals with them already. Well, if we are, who's doing them talks? Is Danny Rule saying who he wants to keep? Should he be saying who he wants to keep if he's not going to be here? Now there's talk that Henrik Pedersen might be taking over. Well, if that's the case, shouldn't he be the one who's deciding who he wants to keep and who he don't want to keep? In fact, pushing that further, should he not be taking charge of the team for the last 3 games of the season? But we don't know. There's no clarity. It's just rumour. Oh, Henrik's going to get it. Is he? Danny's going. Is it? Nobody knows. Now we can presume, and the odds are stacked certain ways, but we don't know 100% anything for fact. And that's what we want. We want some information. We want a bit of clarity on the situation. It's not doing anybody any favours. It's certainly not doing the players any favours. And you can see that in performances. Don't care what anybody says. We can talk about whether they're good enough or this, that or the other. We can talk about whether the manager's tactics are right. That really don't mean anything. That is the smallest part of this whole thing. It really is. The big question is he going to be here? Are these players going to be here? If they are going to be here, who's deciding if we keep them? Who's deciding who we move on? These are the questions that we need answering. And there's nothing coming out of the club. Nothing. We want some clarity one way or the other. And if Danny's going, let us know. Let us accept it. We might not like it. But at least we can start to move on mentally and say, okay, we know he's not going to be here next year. What's the progression plan? who is going to be here. If the club come out and said, Danny's off, blah, 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 there's stuff to be sorted out, but he's going, we've got a progression plan, Henrik's going to be taking over. No, we might not like it, but we'll be like, oh, okay, at least we know there's a plan in place. But at the minute, everything's up in the air. We should be going into the summer looking forward to next season, looking forward on building on what has been a decent season overall, but we're not looking forward to it. There's still 3 games to go this season and we're safe, and yet we're already panicking about next season. Is it going to be a relegation scrap? And I think a lot of people, myself included, think it possibly will be. We haven't even got an idea if we're going to have a club. We don't know if the club's solvent. We talk again about these performances, how poor they've been. But what is it, 10 days till payday? Are these players going to be paid for this month? All these questions that need answering. And we've had nothing. The silence is absolutely deafening. We need some, like I said, we need some clarity one way or the other what's happening at the club. You know, is it going to be another embargo? Are we facing administration? 12 players out of contract, who can you sign? If you've got a manager in place currently, but who's not going to be here next season, if then those 12 players go, who are you looking at to replace them? Different managers have different ideas. It needs sorting out, and it needs sorting out quick. Like I said, sat here, should be relaxed. 15th place, building block, smashing. I should be sat here with a cup of tea, relaxing, thinking, right, next season probably he might go and he might go, maybe we can bring in this player or that player. But none of us is thinking like that. None of us is thinking like that because there's so much chaos and confusion. Are we facing administration? Nobody's got the faintest idea. And it's about time something will put out there to either put people's minds at rest, or at worst case scenarios, at least keep us in the loop so we can prepare ourselves for the shitstorm that's coming. But as it is, I think that's why people are getting ratty-tempered. The results have been poor recently. They have been poor. But subliminally at the back of the mind, it's everything else that's going on that I think is bringing this anger to the fore even more. And like I said, we're now seeing players getting hammered, young players getting hammered who are making the way in the game. We're seeing the manager who saved us last season and has got us to a good mid-table finish this season. We're starting to see him take some stick. He's starting to obviously feel the pressure. He's come out yesterday and made comments about the players that are completely out of character for him. And that is nothing more in my mind than the stresses of what's going on behind the scenes at Hillsborough. It needs sorting out. And there needs to be some good, honest communication with the fans about what the fuck's going on down there. That's all from me. Also, I've just watered our lasses plants. I think I've drowned them.